Hi there, Craig Hocknell here, coming to you from Studio Golf in El Paso, Texas. Now, this is not a Studio Golf video, this is a TrackMan setup video. So I'm doing this for all of my students. Some of them have TrackMan setups in their home, some of them are in Park City, Utah, Arizona, or in New York, or somewhere around the world where they either have their own TrackMan or they have access to a TrackMan in a beautiful setting like Studio Golf. What I'm going to do is walk you through a few different things that I want to make sure you're very well aware of so that you can utilize this technology to the best of your ability, and I can then be confident that you've set everything up correctly. Because the worst thing you can do is set up incorrectly and then be off track with all of this great information. The quality of the outcome is only as good as the quality of the input, so we're going to go over a few of those steps. So the first thing is you want to make sure that you have downloaded the TrackMan app. Now the TrackMan Golf app, the one that you want to download is the one that is white and orange, looks like this on your phone. So I'm in my app library, I've typed in TrackMan, and as I've typed in TrackMan, this little icon has appeared. I'm going to click on it. It's going to open up into the app. Now the first thing you do when you come to a studio is you click on Quick Login. The Quick Login opens up your camera. And what you're going to do is kind of move in slowly on that QR code right here in the right hand corner, and it's going to connect. Once it is connected and you click Continue, you can feel confident that all of the information that you now get from your practice session gets transferred into your app on your phone so you can analyze all of the data. So here I am. I'm going to walk you through a couple of things. So right here on the TrackMan, you're going to have options to practice on courses, play games, or tournaments. We're focused right now on practice. And I'm going to share with you a cool thing right here in target practice, even though you have all these other great options for you. So we're going to go right over here to target practice. One of the cool things that I'm going to share with you here within target practice in the settings function, we're not worried about putting, but we are worried about course. This is a very cool option. In the wind section, you can click calm, breezy, strong breeze, variable, gusty, and windy. And we're going to click windy because this is a function I want you to get used to, okay? You're in here, and one of the first things that you want to do after you've kind of chosen the view, chosen the course, chosen the practice, is make sure that you calibrate your TrackMan. So right up here, the top right-hand corner is a button that says Calibrate. It's going to bring up the image from the TrackMan that's back over here on the floor. I'll show you where that is, right over here, okay? So now what we're looking at into the screen, and also right here on the computer, is the information. So we're gonna make sure that that golf ball is set up in the correct location. So I'm gonna move it over here just a little bit. And then I'm going to use the mouse to get that yellow line right here. Now I know, based on we have these little white dots on the carpet, maybe you should too. Based on those dots, I know that that golf ball is set in the correct location. I'm going to also auto select my target based on the screen so that all the information that goes up on the screen is correct. And then I'm going over here to click Save Settings. Now that I've set up my course and settings and I've calibrated the TrackMan, now I can go into practice. I'm going to click on my name here, and it's going to make sure that all of the shots that I now hit on the TrackMan here in the studio get transferred over to my phone. This is a view of the simulated driving range, which I think is the most usable space on here. When you get to this space, this is a virtual driving range that you can navigate around. I'm just going to click right here on the 150 yards to get us started and hit select. Now that we're on here, you can check a few things. You can see that this tree over here is blowing all over the place because we selected windy. Right here in the right hand corner, you can see that it's blowing at 22 miles an hour, and that little arrow shows us that it's blowing into us. We're going to mess around with that here in just a second. The first thing I want you to do is make sure that you're selecting these tiles correctly on your screen. So I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit closer on those. Okay, so now when we're on these tiles, you can click on here and it'll open up every tile that's on the screen. We don't want the default tiles, and I'm going to explain why. So you're going to click on all of these, back and forth, and remove them, and here's why. I want you to set up your tiles so that you have input and outcome in columns. For example, club is input, launch and flight are going to be outcome. So you're going to select one thing from here, which is club head speed, drop it in here. The club head speed has a direct correlation over here to both carry and total distance. You're going to select right here, carry distance. Okay, once you've selected carry, that's going to be your output. And input would be path. So you're going to select path, drop it over here. The outcome for path is going to be curve, so the amount that the ball curves. Then over here, you're going to select an input. So you're going to select face angle. Face angle is more direction related, which affects your total or your side distance in carry, not side total. So you're going to select side carry. Then right over here, we're going to make sure that we're doing a math equation between the path and the face, which is the face to path number. So you're going to select that. The face to path number, the closer that is to 0.0, the straighter the ball flight. I'm going to hit a shot, and we'll come back and talk about that here in a second. And then what we're looking for, just as a general calculation of how well we struck it, is we're going to click on smash factor, which is right here. So click on smash factor. Smash factor is basically an equation between how fast you swung the club and how fast the ball flew, and that gives us a smash factor number. So I'm going to click save and close over here. Now that we're in our virtual range, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour around. So as I click on the actual screen, you'll see that this icon over here, kind of like a helicopter landing pad, appears. As I move slightly to the right, you can see I'm moving around the driving range, getting a look at our beautiful lake that's out here in the simulated range. I'm going to do a 360, so if I just keep clicking to the right, you'll see these hitting bays in the clubhouse. So if I wanted to hit a shot from here, hitting right over the building, I'm welcome to do that. Obviously, it's simulation. We're not hitting anybody having lunch on the patio. Continue to move around. If I want to fire balls into the woods over here, I can do that. Continue moving around, moving around. Okay, now we're back in our general direction. Now I'm going to show you why this is very important. Let's say I select a target right here, and I want to select this tricky little hole location right over the edge of the water right there, but I want to move backwards and hit some shots out of the trees in that direction. So I'm going to click done, and I'm going to go back here to place ball. This screen opens up because I can click anywhere. If I want to click right up here in this bunker, I can hit shots from the bunker right over the edge of the water to that hole location. Or I can continue clicking backwards, backwards, backwards on this screen over here. And that's going to take me right over here behind these bushes. Keep going a little bit further, maybe right behind this tree. This would be kind of a cool shot if I was working on hitting a draw, going around the tree right here. As you can see, this would be extremely challenging because I would have to hit a right to left shot around this tree while my wind is blowing 19.2 miles an hour from left to right. So once I click done, now I'm ready to practice in this scenario. If you're done kind of messing around over here and you just want to get back out, the fastest way to do that is to click on select distance and just go back to any shot that you're going to hit. So we're going to select the straightforward 150-yard shot right here. Click select. If I do want to control the wind, I go right over here to the wind icon, click on it. Now I can maneuver the wind around. I can swing this arrow and make it from right to left, or I can push it all the way over here, make it left to right, and I can also change the strength of the wind, going from 0, let's see how far it goes, really, really strong wind all the way up to 36 miles an hour. So in Texas, you're going to want to practice that, right? So here we are. I'm going to set it at 10, 11 miles an hour, left to right. And here's our shot. Now, in order for the data to correlate to your app, what you're going to want to do is select the correct club. It's defaulted to either a 9, 8, or 7 iron because over the time I've been using TrackMan, it's determined that I hit one of these clubs around 150 yards. So it's picked an 8 in the middle. I've got a 7 iron set out for my demonstration, so I'm going to click 7 iron. It shows right here that I'm hitting off of a mat, and I'm going to get 100% of my power and 100% of my spin. If I did move, just so you know, if I did place the ball over here in the rough, right, and go back here to done, because I'm hitting out of the rough, now I have only 98% power, and I only have 85% spin, so it's going to recalculate all of that for me. So I'm going to go back, normal shot, right off of here, go back to my club, click the 7 iron. Now I'm ready to go. So I'm going to spin you around over here and hit a shot for you. Okay, so let's go into my practice station. I'm going to show you exactly how to actually set up correctly. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, it's extremely important to make sure that not only do you have all the technology set up correctly, you actually set up correctly. So one of the important things I like to do, now that I know that my golf ball is in the right spot, I take out my Sabre putting ruler, because this is something I do a lot with putting practice, is putt off of this. So I like to actually visualize a nice blue stripe going toward my target. So I'm going to set that Sabre right down here in front, and then I'm going to come back behind, take a quick look and see if that is set up directly between my ball and the target on the screen, which it is. I got lucky this time. That isn't always the case. You may have to move that target line around to help you get set up. Another thing I like to do is make sure that my feet are in the correct position. So I take my Sabre and I set it down here on the mat. And I try to eyeball it as good as I can from here, come back from behind, make sure that that's parallel left. And now I'm ready to hit a shot. So I've got my 7 iron over here. Now that I'm in position, I'm visualizing my golf ball going from here in the center of these 2 white dots. I've got my feet aligned correctly, and I'm going to strike my ball over the ruler into the screen and hope for the best, right? So here we go. Take my setup. Let's go ahead and make a swing. Okay. Now we can go back to the computer and see how our numbers look. So there's my ball. It drifted off to the right. Why did it drift off to the right? Let's take a look. So my strike, and I'll bring you back over to this computer so you can see it a little easier. Okay, my strike on the ball did not produce a shot that actually went 20 yards right. The reason why my ball went 20 yards to the right is because I have the wind over here set at 10.8 miles an hour left to right. However, let's take a look at these numbers. I swung it at 81 miles an hour. My carry distance was 145 yards. That's wind affected as well. My club path was 0.4 degrees. My face angle was 2 degrees. The correlation between those two, the equation, is that I had a 1.6 degree face to path number. The amount of curve that I had was 16 yards to the right. The total distance that it landed to the right was 20 yards. My smash factor is 1.3. When we're working together on your swing, this kind of information is extremely important. And like I said at the very beginning, the most important thing for us to do is make sure all of this is set up correctly. If I'm going to be helping you remotely with your swing, we want to make sure that all of the data that's coming out is based on correct input of setup, and then obviously we can then determine based on the outcome how you did with your swing. So Again, this is quite an extensive video. There's a lot of information I just threw at you, but I want to make sure that you take the time to properly set up all of this stuff so that as I'm working with you, I can coach you correctly. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.